Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Hoffman of EnlighteningLife.com, and on this fifth day of our 9-day cycle that started on 12/12 and ends on 12/21, I want to talk to you about how the integration of 5D into 3D polarity affects our relationships. This is probably the hardest part of this journey. It's the hardest part of any journey because our relationships are things that are very dear to us, very special to us. We have a lot invested in them, whether that's emotionally, financially, physically, and it's very hard when they undergo this kind of shift that occurs in spite of everything we do, and it seems to be out of our control, and they get impacted in ways that sometimes are very painful. A person leaves, a relationship breaks up, they stop talking to us, our friends all move away, and I hope that I can give you some things to help you understand why this is happening, and then a few steps that you can take and things that you can do for yourself, some tools you can use to help you understand it better and also deal with the effects that sometimes are unpleasant. I'll be very honest with you. I'm not going to give you a fix all to, okay, this is how you can wave a magic wand and make everything all better, because sometimes relationships in this kind of energy shift do end. So if you watched my earlier video about 3D polarity and 5D duality and how they're integrating, I use this solid ball to represent 3D. So 3D is like a solid ball. It's dense. The glue that holds 3D together is emotional energy. Well, oftentimes when we enter into a relationship, and by relationships, by the way, I mean all your relationships, your romantic partners, your friends, your family, your neighbors, the people you know, the people you work with, all of these people are bound to you in 3D by this emotional glue. You have similar emotional needs. You have the same kinds of interests and you have the same kinds of healing to do. And that's what puts you in this 3D sphere together. So when you meet someone, and I'm going to talk specifically about romantic relationships here. So when you meet someone, very often you enter their lives as half of this sphere. So you bring your needs to them. You say, okay, I need to be loved and feel valued and feel honored and respected. And they have the same needs. So you come together with these needs that this emotional glue holds together, which often is a recipe for disaster. Usually your needs don't get met, their needs don't get met. It ends up being a big fight. And you feel undervalued, used, taken advantage of, disrespected. Well, so do they, because there's nothing that holds this relationship together but this constant meeting of the needs. So one day you wake up and you think, I don't like this anymore. I want to choose something else. And I use this wicker ball because it's hollow on the inside. So it represents 5D. So 5D is very open. It's a very light energy. Well, what happens when this density starts unraveling because the emotional glue starts falling apart and it becomes 5D is now you see different perspectives and different potentials. But you still got this 3D person and this 3D relationship. What has to happen for you to move this relationship into duality, where you bring the 5D energy into 3D so that your 3D opens up and becomes more light-filled and less dense, with less of the emotional glue that holds you together and more of the lighter, free-flowing, high-vibe energy that holds you together, is you both have to become this. So here, we'll take the first scenario is the person doesn't want to shift and isn't interested. Now you've got a 3D person and a 5D person and they're trying to connect and it doesn't work. This person has a choice. They have to decide to open up their energy, to release all of their emotional needs, to release all the glue that holds them in this relationship, and consider that there may be something that's more joyful, more fulfilling, and more beneficial to become this. But it's a choice they have to make, and they have to be able to see the benefit of becoming this. And you think, well, we can be happier, we can have better relationship, and we can be more fulfilled. Well, that may be what you think, but that's not what they think. And they have to convince themselves, you can't do it for them, that this, which is unknown to them, this is a completely unfamiliar paradigm, that this can be better than this. Sometimes they can do that, sometimes they can't. If they can't, here's a second scenario, is you cannot go back to being 3D. Once you cross the 4D bridge that takes you from 3D density and polarity into 5D and above duality where you are blending the 5D energies into 3D. Once you cross that bridge, you never go back. It's kind of like once you outgrow your little baby shoes, you never get your little feet back into your baby shoes. So in order for you to stay in this relationship, you have to be willing to accept this person's position, not with the hope that one day they'll change, but with the understanding that one day the relationship may end and you may have to move on. Now, that's not a decision you have to make today, unless, of course, there's abuse in the relationship or it's really toxic, and then, of course, you should go. But there is no way for you to make this person change. And I think that's where we get stuck in relationships and we feel like we're doing something wrong because we feel that this is such a better option. Of course, they have to see that it's a better option, but they can't because for some people, becoming a higher version of themselves involves so much change and is so scary that even if they're not happy, they will stay. Your comfort zone isn't where you're comfortable. Your comfort zone is what's familiar. Well, when you move from your comfort zone into something, even if it appears to be better, now you're in your discomfort zone. And until they decide to make that shift, this does not look appealing to them in the least. In fact, it looks very unappealing, kind of like what a camping trip looks like to me. And if you know me, I dislike camping very much. I would not even consider going on a camping trip. No matter how much my 3D person would like to take me camping, I'm not going. Well, no matter how much you think that this is such a better option, and even if they see you're happier and they see you're more fulfilled, until they want that for themselves, this is what you'll have, this constant battle. So here are some things that you can do. Number one is accept this person's position and stop trying to change them. Because when you try and change them, what you're telling them is you're wrong, and nobody likes to be made wrong. So accept that this is where they are. Also, accept that what they describe as being happy, even if you think they're unhappy, is as happy as they can allow themselves to be, given their current beliefs and mind frame and their energies. They are happy within themselves. And the third thing is, don't stay still. Keep on moving forward into your own 5D integration. Eventually, they may move with you, but they may not. And if they don't, somebody else will come into your life that can be that 5D partner with you and that can be part of your life in the way that allows your fully integrated dual 5D self meets with someone that is at the same energetic level. What this means is that a lot of relationships are going to be ending. And I think, as I write in my annual predictions every year, I think 2016 is going to be a year when we see a lot of relationships ending. And that's not a terrible thing. It just means that once we make an energetic choice and we give ourselves the option to move into other realms of frequency and vibration and other multidimensional realities, the people in our lives that are not at that level and have no desire to be at that level will go and find somebody else to be with. And then we will find someone else to be with too. One of the things that I write about a lot is the energetic family. So we have a biological family. We also have biological connections through our relationships. Remember, 3D is about emotional glue, the emotions that hold these glue these things together. So once we start moving out, the whole idea of biology and what we should do and who we should be with and who should love us shifts into a more balanced paradigm of us being with people who we like to be with and who understand us and who are connected to us and who are also at the same frequency and within the same dimension that we are as well. So we're going to see a lot of that in 2016. And again, it's not a terrible thing. It's going to help a lot of people reorganize the structure of their lives to where their lives are more balanced. And there's a special word that's going to define 2016, and I'm not going to say it today. I'm going to say it in my 12/21 solstice class because I want to introduce this on that day because that's the day when we really can step into this new energy. But it's more than being whole. It's about it's more than being complete. It's more than being connected. It's a state where all of our energy is together, and I will describe that to you again on the call. If you would like to join me, you can click the button here and join me on my 12/21 solstice call. I do these calls every quarter, and I look forward to talking to you then. I know that this is a really tough time when your relationships fall apart, or they seem to fall apart. But what really is happening is this emotional glue that's holding you to that person is unraveling. And it's becoming something much more freeform, much more fluid, that allows you to grow beyond the confines of 3D polarity and move into duality where you're more integrated and you can be more happy and more successful and have more of a life that you want. But everybody in your life has to want the same thing. And chances are that they might, but they also might not. And you must be in that state of acceptance and you must give them the opportunity to make that choice, as painful as it may be. I don't want to end this on a bad note, but what I've seen in like many clients and in the people that I connect with here is a lot of relationships are coming apart because the glue that holds them together is loosening up and it's becoming much more fluid. So if this is happening to you, understand that it is what's happening. Be clear, accept that other person's position, be clear about what you want, and keep moving forward. They will eventually come with you, or they might not. And if they don't, then somebody else will come into your life to be that partner that can be the fulfillment of your happiness and your blessings in the way that you want, and you do this together. One thing about 5D relationships is they're much more balanced and centered and grounded in similar needs, similar desires, and similar potential and opportunities. I hope that was helpful. I know this is not an easy time, so hang in there. We just have a few more days of this 9-day period. It's going to be tough, and it may get a little bit worse before it gets better, but these things do end. So this is Jennifer Hoffman. Thanks for watching, and I hope that was helpful. Visit me at enlighteninglife.com and join my 1221 call on Shining On and Moving Forward on December 21st, 2015. Go find out more at enlighteninglife.com/hello2016. Thanks for watching.